Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this week's episode, I am going to do a review of a helmet that I've been wearing the last couple of weeks, and I want to tell you all about it. I'm Pipes, and this is Midwestern Motorbike. Also, if you are not subscribed, my contest is coming to an end quite soon. If you do not know, as long as you just subscribe to my channel, that is it. All you have to do is subscribe. You are in the running to win a Midwestern hat, Midwestern t-shirt, and a Icon magnetic tool mat sent to you for free, and all you have to do is subscribe. If you're already subscribed, you're already in. May 10th is the last day you can enter. Shortly after that, I will be revealing the winner. So good luck. All right, before we get started, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much. I'm glad the algorithm has found you, or a friend recommended you, or whatever case may be. I am glad you're here watching it. Feel free to watch my other previous videos. I do a lot of riding around Wisconsin and motovlog. If you're back to watch the new episode and you're a subscriber, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It is awesome. Now, before I get started on this review, I need to preface with this. One, this is my opinion on this product. I guess take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Talk to people who might have it. Talk to the people at the company. Ask questions. This is just my personal opinion on this helmet I'm about to review. Second, this is the only second full face helmet that I have ever owned. All right, my other full face helmet is a Bell SRT helmet that I've had for the last year and a half that I've been wearing. And I decided to get something different because my Bell SRT is a 2XL, and once the padding wore in, I realized that I got too big of a helmet. It flops around on my face. If you have watched previous videos of me wearing this helmet, you notice I'm always constantly like touching my helmet and adjusting it because it falls down a lot, especially it's a modular with it up. So I decided to get something different. Now, the helmet that I did get is a Daytona Glide helmet. I got the Daytona Glide. It is a very inexpensive helmet when it comes to helmet shopping. As you know, if you're looking at Simpson or Arai or Bell or Shoei or Shoei, I mean, you can spend, a lot of money on a helmet, and so be it if you want to. I wanted to see if price matches quality, matches safety. I didn't really want to go out and spend another $400 or $500 on another Bell, and I came upon Daytona helmet because of a couple other vloggers that I watch, a couple other videos that I've seen of these guys at like vending at events and describing their product. They're family owned out of Daytona, Florida, and as far as I know, most of this helmet is made in the United States. So I went with the Daytona Glide. The Daytona Glide is a modular helmet. I prefer white. I like white. I like white with like a smoke visor. I like the visibility when you're on a motorcycle. And when it's hot out, obviously, white reflects light and not absorbs it like a black. Okay, I think one of the worst helmets you can get if you live in a hot area is a matte paint black helmet, because your head might get a little bit warmer than usual. Get a white helmet might help out a little bit. Don't know if it actually really does help. I think it does, but like I said, my opinion, I like the white. Now, like I said before, this is the helmet you probably have seen me wear in most of my videos. It's a Bell SRT modular helmet. There's my Midwestern sticker I put on it once I bought it. Like I said, it's modular. I like it. It's nice and plush. It's really comfortable. It's not hot. Problem is though, it moves around on my head too much, and I don't believe that is safe. But now that I was in the market for a new helmet, I'm like, well, okay, first of all, what's my budget? Unfortunately, my budget did not call for another $400 helmet. I wanted to be able to spend a little bit more money on things for my motocamp coming up, things I need for my motorcycle, things I need for my wife's motorcycle. Now, this is the second Daytona helmet I have purchased. If you have watched a previous video, you have noticed that I got my wife a Daytona C6 helmet. The jury is still out on a review for this helmet because she's only worn it during her motorcycle safety class, which she did pass, and now she has her motorcycle license. And I will show video of us on our first family ride together. This is also a modular helmet, and I will get to this. Mind you, the Daytona Glide retails at $199. And I do believe they have extra small all the way up to 3X, I believe, as far as the helmet size. You'll have to go on, I believe it's DaytonaHelmet.com. But yes. Now, I did get a couple of things with this helmet. It does come with a clear shield, and I'll get to that in a second. And I also added their comm system. Daytona Helmets has their own version of a Cardo. Obviously, you see it says Daytona on here, but I decided when I bought this helmet just to install it for me. I could have done it myself, but I figured, you know, a couple extra bucks, throw it on there. So with the smoke shield and the comm system that came with it, I'm into this helmet. I want to say about $320 some. I did use a discount code from Cody Lane. I believe it's Backseat Gyno, as far as that's funny, but that'll give you about 25% off your order. Not sure if the code is still valid, but that's what I used. But I figured my wife's C6 by itself with nothing added to it, I think retails for $389. This one retails for $199. So with an extra smoke shield and the comm with it, was a lot more inexpensive than that. And that is where the difference is quality. Now, when I speak of quality, I speak of how comfortable it is on the face, the padding inside of it, how nice it is to put the you know, I mean, it's nice and easy. I mean, it does click in. Like I said, I mean, it clicks in very nice. The windshield, the shield can go all the way up so you can have full vision, you know, and it clicks down very, which I like, is it has the one right above here. So you can literally have it all covering your face, and you still have that wind entrance right here. I know on Simpson that I've heard, because I did review on, a research on Simpson, that it's like either all the way up, halfway down, or all the way down. For this one, you have plenty of options exactly where you want to put it. It has the option to put a pin lock screen in here. I think that's the proper name for it. I'm not sure if it's screen, but the extra pin lock that goes inside the visor that helps with fog. I don't have it in here, and I'm going to get to that in a second too. I do believe that this weighs about 3.2 pounds. It is very light. It's a little lighter than my Bell, because the Bell is a 2X, which means more plastic, more inside of it. Just a bigger helmet. It's going to weigh a little bit more, but I do believe that if you get a Bell same size as this, I think it's about the same weight. After wearing this helmet on a few rides, I'm not sure if I actually quite like this helmet yet. So I measured my circumference of my head at 23 inches. Now, extra large for this helmet, the max is 23 1/8 inch. And obviously, an eighth of an inch is really not much of a margin compared to just 23 inches. But I did not want to get a 2X, have the same problem I had with the Bell when the pads break in and it's just loose. But I feel that I need a 2X. I don't know if this extra large is for me. And I reached out to the company and I said, hey, I would like to exchange this helmet for an extra large. It's just too tight. I've worn helmets, worn this helmet, I've tried on helmets, and they said, well, if your head measures at 23 inches and this goes up to 23 1/8, you're right in there, very top of it, but you need to give time for the padding to break in and for the helmet to fit around your head. Now, with that said, I want to go into the con of the helmet, some cons. Now, this padding here, there is not much to break in. I don't really think there's going to be much of a break-in period because there's really not a lot of padding in here to break in. And I have a big head. I no really other way to put it. I wear either a size 7.5 or a 7 3/8, fitted baseball cap, depending on the brand of the hat. So I got a pretty sizable dome on top of my shoulders here. When I put this in, and I'm going to put it on now, don't mind the bad hair day. It slips on fine. And it would come standard with a ratchet clip, not the D-ring. So now the problem is when I put it down, on a ride, I was riding, I flipped up my modular, I took a drink of something, and then I went to go put my helmet back down, and it doesn't go down easily. But if I open up the windshield and then take my hands and kind of navigate it down, now it clicks in, and now I'm fine. But I don't like that. I like to flip it up, take a drink of something, maybe a little bit more wind on my face, and then when I'm ready, now because I don't know, my jowls or my cheeks kind of push the helmet out, and I think it kind of messes with the where these are and where these are when they come down, and it kind of makes it a little hard. It's not smooth. It's not smooth like when the helmet is completely off my helmet. Right? Now with my head not in the helmet, like I said, with the finger, bam. Now I expressed this to Daytona Helmets. I wrote them an email saying, it just doesn't come down nice and easy when my head's in it. When my head's not in it, let me get it started here. It comes down and it clicks nice and easy. Now when my head is in it, I gotta, I either have to slam it, which sometimes when I slam it, this little screen right here, if you can see it, it'll pop out on one side because it hits my chin and it just pops out, and I can feel it just kind of wiggle in there. So the only way I can really put it on my head is nice and slow and whatever, how that goes. But I don't, that's not the point I want with a modular helmet. If I want a helmet that's always on, I would have got an actual full face helmet, and then I guess I'll just take a drink whenever I take my helmet off. It's like I said, I got their comm system put in. I had them put it in. My wife's helmet also has the comm. I put it in myself. But I'll get to the C6 and why you probably, if you're gonna buy a Daytona helmet, just go with the C6, honestly. But I actually asked them to install it. Problem is the ear wells, I believe, that are in this helmet are just not deep enough for the speakers that go in here. My personal opinion based on my head. Now, if you have a longer head, it's big, but it's skinny, or it's more like a pumpkin head, I only can speak to me and my experience with this helmet based on my head shape, where my ears are, and everything. I need to make that clear. This is not an end all. This is a don't buy it video. This is not that. I'm just giving you my review, how I feel about the Daytona Glide helmet. Like I said, I'm not going to pull it apart, but if you have comms in your helmet, most helmets these days come with wells for you to put speakers in, whether it's a Cardo or something else that you find that you want in your helmet. When I put on the helmet, I could literally feel the speakers like bulging out and actually pushing up against this little part of my ear right here and really messing with the way the sound is. Once I had the helmet on, I had to sit there and really adjust my helmet, pull it up, move it around, like for me to actually hear both speakers correctly. Now the first one they sent me, the speaker, one speaker didn't even work at all. It just barely any sound, very static, and they were very gracious. They're like, hey, no problem, send us pictures, send us an email, and they sent me out a replacement headset immediately. And that one works perfectly fine. But the problem is when I put it in, it was just smushing up against my ear. And anytime I would talk inside my helmet, now obviously exaggerating and enunciating the way I talk, but sometimes if you wear a full face and you're riding and you kind of feel it being a little too tight, your head's getting a little tired of wearing a helmet, you might do, one of these, just kind of like, give your jaw a little more space. When I do that, those speakers were pushing up against my ears and the music was just going back and forth and muffled. So I emailed them back and I said, hey, you think I should take a styrofoam cutter and maybe dig out the well a little bit more, and you think that would help? And they were like, most likely they would help, but we cannot recommend that you do that because it might mess with the integrity of the helmet in general. They did say, I see where you're going with that, and it may or may not work, but they couldn't obviously officially tell me, yes, go ahead and do that, because that's not the way the helmet was made. It's not the way it's designed. If you start cutting styrofoam out of your helmet, that might mess with the integrity. So I was like, okay. And at that point, to go back, I said, you know what? Maybe I will exchange it for an extra large. I mean, a 2X, whatever. So I put in the paperwork and I asked for an exchange. I was not allowed to exchange this helmet, and let me tell you why. If you order a Daytona helmet, no matter what it is, as long as it's a full face, a modular, or even their Spider, which is a 3/4 helmet, and you ask them to install their Bluetooth, they do have two options. Because when you buy a Bluetooth from them, or even a Cardo Bluetooth, and it comes in the mail, you have two options. You have the clip, where it clips onto the helmet, or you can take the 3M tape and stick it to your helmet, and then stick this onto it. I went the stick route with my wife's helmet. I took the sticky off, I stuck it on there, because if I want it off, I can just take it off, take a fishing string, warm it up, carve it out, buff it out, and you wouldn't even know there was one there. When I asked them to put the Bluetooth on for me, they didn't really ask if I wanted it to stick on or if I wanted the clip on. So they took it upon themselves to put the clip on. And to put the clip on, they actually had to cut a little bit of this plastic piece for it to fit correctly. Now, because they had to cut the helmet to install the clip, now it is not returnable, because they cannot put it back on the shelf, or whatever fee I might have to charge for them to put it back on the shelf. They can't do anything because they cut this piece of plastic to put it in there. I didn't ask them to. They didn't give me an option of which one I wanted. They just went ahead and did it. My opinion is, I feel they did that because now, no matter what, this helmet is mine. They made a sale. I got a helmet. There's no way for me to return this helmet or exchange this helmet, and for them to deal with this helmet once it gets back to their factory. It is mine now. That did irritate me because I didn't ask them to cut this piece off and put the clip on. However, when I did buy the helmet, I did ask them to put the smoke shield on when it says comments. And I said, could you just put the smoke shield on for me? They didn't. So I ended up having to put that on myself. It's a visor. It's not really end all. But I did ask them to do it, and they did not. And they cut this part, and they didn't ask if I wanted to cut or not. So now, if I want a 2X helmet that I may feel fits better on my head, I have to buy another Glide for $200. Big con. Pro, customer service is awesome. When you call Daytona Helmets, you're not pressing 1, you're not leaving messages. If you call during business hours, after 1 or 2 rings, someone picks up the phone and you talk to a real person. I have to give them that. That is a huge pro, especially in today's society with customer service. Very rarely do you actually call and actually get somebody on the phone immediately. You can't even open up a chat without talking to the bot first before you actually talk to a representative. So I will give Daytona Helmets that. Their customer service is pretty good. Not happy with their choice of cutting the helmet to put this on, so now I can't exchange it. So now I'm kind of stuck with it. Because I got this, I am not going to go out and spend another $200 and get an extra 2XL helmet to see if that's better. So what I did is I went ahead and I took a styrofoam cutting tool and I actually dug the wells a lot deeper where the speakers go. And I'm telling you what, that made the world of difference on this helmet. World of difference. As far as me hearing the speakers clearly, just putting it on, I can move my jaw around, I can swallow, I can turn my head, and I no longer have those speakers jamming up against this little flap on my earlobe. Not sure what the official term of this little spot is on the ear, but that's where it was pushing. and that's where it was giving me the most trouble. I don't have that anymore. I don't even know if the speakers are there. Helmet does fit so much better now that I dug those in. Daytona Helmets, if you do see this, you may want to consider maybe making those wells a smidge deeper. But like I said, it's for my head. So don't go, just, if you're going to go buy this helmet, which is a Daytona Glide, and it is more than just DOT certified, it's got all kinds of different certifications for it. So it is a very safe helmet. And I do believe the little bit that I did carve out just to make the speakers fit a little bit better, I don't think it's going to really affect my helmet at all, honestly. It's not like I was carving bigger pieces in the actual helmet for more ventilation or whatever else. It was just a little bit just to make the speakers fit. Now, when he said wear it a little while, you need to break it in. So, on the top of this helmet here, so I will show you, I'll do a comparison here. There's lots of plush right here. See if I can, there's lots of plush all around. There's plush here, and then it stops here. This is helmet. This is good plush. And where your head goes, very good plush. Good plush here. Helmet, they even got grooves for glasses. And on the top here, very plushy, very comfortable. My wife does say she's very comfortable. She likes it. The drop down sunglasses. But that's why I got the smoke, so I didn't really have to do that. Now, on this one, no plush on the forehead. All right, if you can hear that, that is your forehead touching a piece of material and then the styrofoam helmet. Now in here, like I said, there is no plush and then helmet. It's all this, and like I said, it's not the greatest quality, I don't think. I mean, it's very, my thumbs go in pretty deep here, just touching it like that. So when they said, wear it a while, break it in, it'll form to your face, I'm like, break what in? I don't feel that there's a lot of plush there to break in. But I'm going to be, this is going to be my main helmet now. I'm going to be wearing this a lot. I'm going to give it a go. Because I have no choice. Now, with that said, is since I'm a moto vlogger, I always usually put a speaker like I have here in here. I tried to do that, and I don't know if there's not, honestly, when the helmet comes down between the between this piece here and your mouth, it's right there. I mean, it's right there. So every time I tried to put my mic in here and close it, my mouth would literally hit the mic and it would fall. And so then I pretty much have to clip it to my comm system. So that's what I'm doing for now. I've got to figure out a better way for my mic to go in here or put it somewhere where, it doesn't fall out. I mean, this does not make it seem like you have an egghead. This is a very form-fitting helmet, if that's a thing. It's a form-fitting helmet. Let me real quick jump off screen. So another con I thought is this is the clear helmet that it comes with. I mean the clear windshield that comes with. It comes with the pin lock piece in it already, which is very cool. Now what I thought was kind of funny is since this smoke is the exact same thing as this clear, this is a clear, this is a smoke, but for some reason the pin lock is in a different location than it is on the clear. I didn't really, think about it, so I took the pin lock off this clear and tried to put it on my smoke one here. And it's too small to go on here, even though they're the exact same thing. So now I have to go on the website and spend like $40 to get the pin lock to go for the one that goes with the smoke shield, because the pins are in a different spot than the pins on the clear. Because this is a tight helmet, and so when you breathe, your breath will fog up the inside of this helmet really fast, real fast. Unless you have some sort of anti-fog, some sort of mist thing you can rub onto your helmet to make sure there's no fog. If you get a Daytona Glide, I recommend, I mean, if you get the Daytona Glide and you just want it clear and you just want to use the drop-down sunglasses, you're fine. But if you want to get a totally different shield to go with it, whether that's a mirror one or a smoke one like I have, a red, blue, different colors they have, get the pin lock that goes with it. Because if you don't, when you close your helmet, as soon as you breathe, whether it's cold out or it's warm out, it's going to fog up the inside of your helmet right quick and in a hurry. So that's another con. If I were you, I would just spend the extra $180 or $90 and get yourself the Daytona C6. But if you're on a budget and you want an American-made product from a family business, don't knock out the Glide. Like I said, this is my personal opinion based on my head size and what I've gone through as far as customer service and things like that. Only thing I have to compare it to is my Bell SRT. Now, I think this retails for $400 if you get the white one. If you get other ones, it could even go up to $500, I believe. But yes. So that is the Daytona Glide extra large white. Also, oh, I forgot another thing with the the comm system. This one's on me. I'm not going to put it on Daytona. So when I bought the C6 for my wife, I bought a duo pack. And I put that one on my son's helmet. And I put the other one on her helmet. And then I got a solo one for me to put on this helmet. I assumed that all three of them would pair up. So I can talk to my son, which is going to be behind me, and my wife, who's going to be next to me. I didn't realize that the solo, it will hook up, but only one at a time. Only two helmets can be hooked up at any given time. And then on my Bell, I still have a Cardo Spirit, and Cardo Spirit is like the most inexpensive Cardo you can get. And that one is also pretty much just a Bluetooth where you can make calls, listen to music, let's hear your GPS. You can hook it up to one other person, but you can't hook it up more than that. So that's kind of a bummer. So now when all three of us are riding, I can't hear my wife because I have to be able to talk to my son behind me to make sure he's okay. I thought since they're all Daytona Bluetooth, now they do make on Daytona helmets, they do have one that says it's up to like 8 or 9 people, but obviously that was one more expensive. I didn't do my due diligence research like I should have. I just kind of assumed, it's just 3 people. I'm not riding with a group of 8, 9 people like you might see on other vlogs where they have a group of people and they're all have Cardos and all that stuff. So I don't have that kind of budget for a Cardo. So I figured with a solo Bluetooth from Daytona Helmet runs $99 retail, and it'll hook up to your phone, your GPS will hook up to one other helmet, and listen to music and call people and all that. So and the speakers are great. I honestly think the speakers that come with this Daytona one is better than the one that comes with the Cardo Spirit. Which brings me to another point. This helmet is quiet. You put this helmet on, it does bring down the wind noise substantially. I do have one of those earplugs I can put in specifically for riding. I don't really need that with this helmet, which is nice. I don't have to have like an earplug in and then helmet on with my speakers and all that stuff. These helmets, even with the padding kind of not being as great as I would like it to be, the sound reduction is amazing on this helmet. That is my review for now on the Daytona Glide modular helmet. I'm going to continue to wear this, and I might make another one of these or add it to a video that I'm already doing. Maybe when I do my moto camp video, which is coming in a couple weeks, since I'll be sitting around in the woods just chilling by a fire, maybe I'll talk more about the Glide as I wear it more. My opinion. I know I'm kind of beating that to death, but I do think it's important. This is not an end-all, but I really hope it helps you on your journey on finding a helmet, because when I went to go buy a Glide, I tried to find every single video on YouTube when it comes to a Daytona Glide. And honestly, there's really not much out there on the Daytona Glide. Hopefully that helps with your shopping for a helmet if you're considering a Daytona Glide. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on the road for the next video. Until then, be safe, stay vigilant. Godspeed.